try again. Gotta get in the zone, man. Gotta get in the zone.
I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games show. I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games. I love the Retro Games show.
It's the Retrogames show.
Because it looks a bit like a mushroom. Oh yeah!
The Retrogames show.
Hello, it is me, it is Jace at Retrogames. You were expecting me, weren't you? It's the weekend, I'm back. I've got a bit of a, I've had a bit of a cold all week. It's like sore throat. Sore throat's eased a bit, but still snotty, still coughing. I might have a few edits in this week's show. Episode number 5. Welcome on board, all you newcomers. It's great. We're starting to build a little bit of an audience for the Retrogames show. If only I could tolerate working so hard on it every week, because let's be honest, it is a lot. I was doing that. There was a bit of a speck of dust. I just want to get it off the camera, but you probably couldn't see it, so I was just like, I'm having some sort of fit. But that's what I do every week. If you're new to the show, yeah, watch me have a fit. No, let's do other stuff. Let's not do that this week. It's been a funny week, hasn't it? What date is it? Oh, it's the 14th of October. That is a Friday. Well, I record this on Fridays, but you know, you might not watch it on Fridays. Let me just check the cameras are working. Yeah, the cameras are working. I am not doing this for no reason. I am recording the show. It's been a heavy edit this week. I had to start the feature early in the week because it is such an intense edit. This is probably the best. This is the best episode we've made. Surely this is going to be the best one. You might disagree. Please write and just say how awful you think it is and you wish it would, you know, mix it up a bit. Start slagging me off big time. Yeah. No, don't. I'm a sensitive soul. Anyway, yeah, I've had this cold, I've had a sore throat, I've had coughing, I've had weepy eyes, dodgy ears, my fingers are falling off and I keep sticking them back on. And it reminded me, when you was a kid, do you remember when you was a kid and you'd be all happy, you get out of bed, you're ready for school, and then you run downstairs and you go, oh hello mum, and your mum's got a terrible cold. And she's like, her eyes are streaming, she's like, oh, really groggy voice and that, she's coughing into the sandwich that she's making you for your lunch. And you think like, oh no, mum's in a mood. I always used to think that anyway. Oh, mum's in a mood. No, she's ill. Give her a break. Give us a break. If you're ill, you deserve, you know, patience. And I hope you'll give me some today with my dodgy voice. Forgive me. I can't stop. I couldn't miss a week. I had to keep going. Why do I move my hands around so much when I talk? It's getting worse and worse. Before you know it, I'm just going to be flapping my arms around the whole episode. You'd be like, oh, I can't watch that guy. He's just like doing jazz hands all the time. Stop it. It's been a funny week. Another funny week. It's been a funny week every week. But this week, what have we had this week? Well, this week we had Facebook Connect 2022. And there was a lot of excitement. Now, I don't know if you guys, like me, are still into the new stuff. Yes, I have PS5. I have Xbox Series X. I still play the new game. I might be the first retro gamer, but I still play the new stuff. For me, born in, you know, the very early 70s, when Pong was just out, it's pretty amazing that in my lifetime how far games will get, and I'm hoping that I'm getting really old, and when I'm 100, games are just so phenomenal. I can just see that whole breadth of video games, everything that ever came out, I have witnessed, and how amazing that is, really. We're quite privileged. I mean, people the generation down from us, they didn't get anything. I mean, they weren't even interested because games didn't strike the chord that they struck with young people when I was in my youth. Breathe, Jace. I'm not showing Maria Whittaker this week. Maria Whittaker's off the show. I'm sorry. Give her a break. You know, she's got her own life to lead. Anyway, yeah. Winding back. Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, I got excited because they were going to talk about the launch of Quest Pro. I'm really into VR. I love all the new VR stuff. I know this isn't retro. What are you talking about, Jace? But there's parallels about what happened this week at Connect 2022, and mistakes companies have made in the past. This isn't a feature, it's just an extra bit.
Next, it's a future that is beyond any one company, that will be made by all of us.
As one of the thousands of avid VR gamers in the world, I sat on the edge of my seat during MetaConnect 2022, anxious for the big Quest Pro reveal. An hour or so later, like so many others, I left the keynote tragically underwhelmed. I've been playing video games since the late 1970s, and as someone with more than a little interest in the history of gaming, I am constantly shocked when big companies ignore the mistakes of the past. Rewind to 1984, when a stubborn Sir Clive Sinclair launched the world's first 16-bit home computer, the Sinclair QL, to an audience who didn't want or understand it. The ZX Spectrum had been the dominant force in UK gaming for 2 years, and the buzz over a new, far more powerful replacement filled the gaming press with excitement. However, Sinclair, with his long-held aspirations of becoming the British IBM, decided to aim the QL squarely as a business machine. Appalling sales and general public apathy towards the computer led to the bankruptcy and buyout of Sinclair Research only a year later. But what if Sir Clive had aimed the QL at the devoted gamers who already loved the Spectrum and his brand? This was the first 16-bit home computer, released years before we saw the Atari ST and Commodore Amiga become the dominant machines of their era. In hindsight, with a couple of quality launch titles, the QL could have gone on to make Sinclair one of the biggest computer companies in the world. It's hard to ignore the parallels with Meta's announcement for Quest Pro. It's safe to say that the 8 or so million Quest owners who regularly use it all are gamers. While Sony tantalise our senses with the exquisite detail of Resident Evil Village on PSVR 2, Meta takes us into Horizon Worlds, seemingly to remind us how graphics used to be. Most of the Quest 2 owners I know could give you a simple list of improvements that they would happily pay more for: lower weight and better comfort, higher resolution and better sound, an improved processor for more immersive experiences. What we got with Quest Pro was a concept not aimed at gamers at all, but at business. A heavier headset with similar resolution, less battery life, and according to some, less comfort. The facial tracking is brilliant, but only if it's usable within games. The businesses I've worked for have been reluctant to invest in up-to-date computers and software, let alone new technology. Perhaps the tech giants of Silicon Valley will invest in a Quest Pro for every employee, but adoption in the wider commercial world has to be more than unlikely. Until there is general public appreciation for the benefits of VR, the Quest Pro remains a tough business proposition. For VR to gain the traction required for their vision of the metaverse future, they need to focus on games first. It took Apple years to come to the same conclusion. People are happy to spend their money on entertainment. Indeed, happy to pay a lot more than the cost of a Quest 2 for the ultimate VR experience. Those other things, the social experiences, remote collaboration and productivity, they will grow naturally as VR truly moves into the mainstream. With one new title and none of the expected updates on GTA and Ghostbusters, Connect 2022 left a sour taste in the mouth, making me question whether Meta is even the right company to take VR to the mainstream. Thankfully, Sony is ready to grab hold of the baton, forcing us all to wait a while longer for the best virtual reality experiences money can buy. As an interesting side note, Sir Clive Sinclair's advanced technology department was called Meta Labs.
The main thrust of Meta Lab is now, as you would expect, to the future of computing. We have a massive program there of very advanced computer development works, all the things that go with it, semiconductor technology, all the peripherals, printers, displays, very advanced display technology, everything in that field.
Yeah, so I'm back. So wanted to get that off my chest. Got something off my chest. Now we can move on. We can move on in a nice, friendly way. And now, you'll know, regular viewers will know, that the front end of the show, what happens at the front end of the show? It's the feature! And this week, it's all about computer music.
Retro Facts!
Computers have been used to make music since the late 1950s, but it wasn't until the arcade machine Pong in 1972 that games found their sound. The world had to wait another 8 years for the first game to feature a continuous soundtrack. when Namco released the arcade machine Rally X in 1980. Early computers like the Sinclair ZX81 didn't have any sound capabilities at all, while the hugely popular ZX Spectrum had just a single-channel beeper. This lack of quality sound allowed the Commodore 64 and its impressive SID chip to gain market share against its rival. Over the following few years, a handful of dedicated composers would turn the Commodore 64 into a computer music powerhouse. Martin Galway, Tim Follin, Ben Daglish, David Whittaker, and the king of them all, Rob Hubbard.
That was quite a challenge because with it being a non-maskable interrupt, there was only a certain, short range you could do with it to change the actual pitch.
The sound of the Commodore 64 would become so iconic that a dedicated MIDI synthesizer version would be released. But with the release of the Amiga, a whole new wave of composers would dominate the computer music scene. The Demo Cruise. When the 16-bit era ended, games creators were no longer reliant on computer chip sounds. Now they could sample real instruments and real orchestras, and the world of gaming music changed forever.
So let's talk about computer game music. Now, as you all know, my first computer was the ZX Spectrum, and when it comes to the sound, the Spectrum is pretty weak. Simple beeper, single channel sound, disappointing. Also, you can't hear it through the TV, so it's very, there was a special trick. If you use the mic cable and you output to a cassette player and then you press play, you could just about amplify through the cassette player the sound of the Spectrum. I seem to remember doing that. We used to use the mic out into the ear in and then put the volume up full on the tape recorder, and then it get a bit boosted and you'd be able to hear the music better. But let's be honest, it was pretty pathetic. Now my first memory of amazing Spectrum sound came with Mr. Wimpy. Now Mr. Wimpy by Ocean is a Burger Time clone, but it used to play the theme from the adverts. Wimpy is the home of the hamburger, we've got the greatest burgers under the bun. You know that one. And it was the first time that I remember that the Spectrum did a jazzy sound. It was like zzz. It's like more zingy. It wasn't just the beeps. Anyway, let's have a listen to it. It's an unusual sound. I mean, it's awful. Why it meant so much to me as a kid, I don't know. It's not great, but it was a big step up just from the general sound of the Spectrum. But what really blew my mind, and it's hard to imagine that this blew my mind, was Wham! The Jukebox. Now Wham! The Jukebox split the single channel sound of the Spectrum into two. Suddenly you could play two parts at the same time. It was like a miracle. I don't know, I'm still not really sure how they did it. It was only ever a one channel chip, but they split it. They put in some drum sounds. You could do a bass and a lead line. You could write your own tunes. I did write some back in the day, don't know what happened to them. But yeah, Wham! The Jukebox, suddenly it opened up a whole new world of dual channel ZX Spectrum sound. But that wasn't as far as the Spectrum went. The Spectrum pushed even further. Tim Follin, David Whittaker, they learned how to make, I guess it's like sampling, but they managed to get multi-channel sound through the Spectrum. And I'm not talking one channel, I'm talking chords, I'm talking drum beats and chords, things like this. Now I know to you that probably sounds like just a load of fuzz, but it was the most detailed soundtrack we'd ever heard from the Spectrum. Amazing, even better than Agent X, Tim Follin's Agent X soundtrack. Absolutely amazing. So complicated, but take a listen. I mean, they really were pioneers of sound. They pushed the Spectrum in ways that nobody ever expected. I mean, when the Spectrum 128K came out, yes, they put a 3-channel sound chip in. It wasn't a SID chip. And thanks to David Whittaker, we got some good music for it. But it would never ever hit the height. It was rubbish compared to the SID chip. And in a way, they didn't have to try so hard because they had 3 channels, they could do drums, they could do, you know, different sort of music on the Spectrum 128. We all searched out 128K versions because it was better sound. I mean, it's hard to justify now. I mean, you guys will know because you're all retro games, you know about this stuff, but the sound of computer games was so important. I bought games just for the music. I'm sure we all did. We all bought games specifically for the music, and that even on the Spectrum. If you heard a Spectrum game, had a continuous soundtrack and it was really good, you'd buy the game. So, I mean, it would have been great if Sinclair had put a decent sound chip in the original Spectrum, but would these masters of technology have pushed so hard to create such detailed sounds from such a humble internal speaker, 1-channel buzzer pretty much. I think Sir Clive Sinclair hated sound. He didn't put any sound in the ZX81, none, nothing at all. Then you got the terrible Spectrum speaker, and then you got the 128, and that was like, yeah, a bit mediocre kind of sound chip. So yeah, obviously he had something wrong with his hearing. I just put that out there. Now the Commodore 64 I came to after the Spectrum. My friends had Commodore 64s, I was in the Spectrum gang, but then you go around your friend's house, they had Commodore 64 and you're like kind of crying inside but pretending you don't like it. Why are all your graphics brown? Everything looks brown on the Commodore. We didn't mention the colour clash that we had to suffer. But they had the music, they had the sound chip. I remember Tales of the Arabian Nights. Oh my goodness, what an amazing tune. I mean, it's not really, but just playing a proper tune while you play a game, it just felt like, I don't know, I'm at a disco? No, maybe not a disco. The rhythm of a tune while you're playing, I mean, take this for granted now, what game doesn't have a soundtrack now? But to have a tune while you played a game was such a big thing because you moved in time with the music, you felt more involved with it. I think there's a deeper connection if there is a soundtrack playing as you play a game. And I know we live in a world where soundtracks on every game, and it's hard to imagine that you didn't have music while you played, but this was the time it was anyway. Tales of the Arabian Nights. Another one I remember is this, and that is Aztec Challenge. Now it's really quite a basic tune, isn't it, Aztec Challenge? But it's like a thing, it builds, and it gets more and more tense. And the atmosphere, I mean, we're in an era, 8-bit era, atmosphere was a tough ask from these humble machines. But you felt it as you're getting closer, and you've jumped. And it's the old super challenge where if you get killed, you go right back to the beginning. And it takes ages just to get to the pyramid. So you're running, and that music is building. It's just intense, it was absolutely intense. And probably one of the reasons why I had to sell everything I owned to try and get a Commodore 64 of my own before I missed out entirely because music had become such a massive part of gaming for me. Now there's a third type of music from the 8-bit era which not many people talk about, and that was free soundtracks on the other side of the cassette. Yes, they couldn't, especially on the Spectrum, they couldn't do much with the music. But on the actual computer. So let's record a tune for you to play while you play the game. It's very weird. I mean, famously, Deus Ex Machina has a full soundtrack that you play on a cassette in time with the game. Brilliant, but not really a musical soundtrack like we wanted. But Automata, they were pioneers. Most of their games had a music track on the B-side. Mel Croucher just being wacky like this.
Don't time fly, man.
Pie mania.
Meaty pie, man.
Pie mania.
Don't you cry, man.
Pie mania.
Come on, a meaty pie, man.
Trapped in a microchip.
Yeah, but I have two absolute favourites. Just no entertainment back then in the 80s. That you'd listen to these things so many times. But the first was for the game by Romantic Robot, the only game they ever put out, I think. Technically, they were like a utility company. Romantic Robot, they made Wriggler. You might know it was a crash smash, it was a big hit. But on the B-side, they put this track, Moons of Jupiter. I loved that tune so much at the time. On the keyboards, I was doing my own version. I did my own version of it. I can't find it now. I loved that tune so much. I played it far more than I played the Wriggler game. The Wriggler game's pretty good. And then, of course, the king of free soundtracks. Well, there's quite a few, isn't there? Carrier Command. Do you remember that? Carrier Command. Let's listen to that. This is from the 16-bit era. Where it's more unusual to get a free soundtrack. A Star Glider 2 did it as well. But yeah, the king of the 8-bit, get back to 8-bit. The tune that I absolutely loved more than other was from the classic Microgen game, Everyone's a Wally, recorded by Mike Berry. He released albums in the 60s. I have no idea why they did this. It must have cost them money to commission a tune. It's not like it was used for TV or anything, it's just on the B-side of the cassette, and it's called Everyone's a Wally.
And he was up to all the tricks of good-for-nothing so-and-so, like super glue between the bricks instead of using mortar. Here, Dick, said Wally, don't you think you ought to use proper stuff to do the job? But Richard, in his ace, had trampled on the tube and stuck a shovel to his face. Oh, everyone's a Wally, a Charlie or a bugler or a bug. Everyone's a Wally, a Nelly or a Nana or a Nub. Everyone's a Wally, a nincompoop, a noddy or a nerd. Everyone's a Wally, everyone's a Wally, that's the word. A
ninny, a nana, or a nerd. The guy who sang that, my baby, also Mr. Spooner in Are You Being Served, going right back to my childhood. Strange, but yeah, I used to play that song all the time. I used to sing it in the playground. Yeah, can you imagine me running around singing Everyone's a Wally? Everyone's a Wally. Anyway, that's what the sort of thing you did when you was a kid. Yeah, they were great days, but they kind of saw the 8-bit era kind of faded away, and we ended up with the 16-bit era. Let's talk about demos. So as you may know, I was in a demo crew, ASG. It was very, very unsuccessful. We didn't make any demos as cool as the ones I'm going to show you now. But the demo music scene on the Amiga, I mean the Atari ST had quite a rubbish sound chip, similar to the Spectrum 128. But the Commodore Amiga, mega, what's the name of it? I'll put it up there. You know, I remember it, but it's faded, it's there. First game I ever saw on the Amiga was Dynamite Ducks. Not really a musical game, but I just remember the sound of it and the speakers. Oh wow, Sidewinder. again, the explosions by Mastertronic Sidewinder just blew me away, and thought I must get an Amiga. I had an Atari ST at the time, always on a slightly wrong format first. And then obviously got into Demo Cruise. Now, if you're not familiar with 16-bit demos, they were discs of people showing off. They were like shout-outs and graphic techniques and spinning cubes and weird shapes to music. And you'd buy these discs from mail order companies, or you'd swap them with friends. They spread out and you just go home and you play them. And it was a bit like playing a record or a CD. You got a graphical feast, things to look at, sometimes interaction, but not usually. Usually it was just something to watch, but you'd have this amazing computer music. And some of those guys who made music back then, they were just phenomenal. I mean, they didn't make games particularly, they didn't make music for games. They just made music to share with friends. It was a passion. Nobody's making any money out of it. It was just like, like tagging. I imagine it's like tagging, like, you know, people spray their name everywhere. You had all the big crews, like, you know, Red Sector, Phenomena, you know, all those guys, and they would all be just like, it's like tagging. Let's get out a new thing. You're not going to believe what we've done this time. Bosh, another disc of another demo, another amazing thing, like this. I mean, it's no lie to say I used to play some of these demo discs 30 to 40 times. I didn't get bored of it. I was just like, oh, go up to my room at night, just stick on a demo, just stick on a demo, chill out. I also have to give a big shout out to another YouTuber, Retro Demo Scene. Check out his channel. He has done an amazing job. He has basically gone through, found every Amiga demo he could, and he's put them live on YouTube, so you can watch them all. And oh well, I've lost days doing it. Incredible. Anyway, moving on from the demo scene, I thought we'd round off this section with my top 10 all-time 8-bit, 16-bit era, 80s era game soundtracks.
And in at number 10, it's classic Manic Miner. Heard in my ears. The first game I ever played with a continuous soundtrack on a Spectrum, Call of the Mountain King. And in at number 9, it's Arcade Machine Domino Man. Very obscure machine this, but the first coin-op I ever played in the arcade that had a continuous soundtrack. Bit of Scott Joplin, meant a lot at the time. Number 8, it's the all-time classic Chariots of Fire on Track and Field. Hard to believe now this was so impressive, but it really was. And at number 7, it's something we all remember. It's the ocean loading music by Jonathan Dunn. How many times do you think you heard this? Every time you wanted to load, yeah, I'll come through on that sports. At number 6, it's Sega's Outrun, or more specifically, Magical Sound Shower. One of the greatest ever arcade themes. You used to dance around while you're playing the coin-op. It meant you didn't get very far in the game. This is the version from the Commodore 64. Let's wait for the big bit. Come on. Just a great tune. Here we go now. And at number 5, it's from Stavros Vasavalos. It's Sanction. Now this was a bizarre theme because you could only hear it while the game loaded, and if you want to hear the whole thing, you had to stop the game from loading, press stop, and then just sit back and listen to the music. The in-game tunes were rubbish. And at number 4, it's everybody's favourite street vandal. It's Paperboy. Just listen to the cowbell. Oh, this soundtrack was, when I heard it, it was the best soundtrack I'd ever heard in any video game ever. I still feel very attached to it. Just love the bass line, the electric piano. Oh, it's just so cool. And at this week's number 3, we're heading on to the Amiga for Graveyard by Fleshbrain. Has to be my favourite all-time Amiga demo tune. I've played this non-stop. Anybody came round and said, come on, come and listen to Graveyard. And at this week's number 2, there's something scary in those woods. Just an incredible soundtrack on this game. Now just wait, the way that this intro theme leads into the actual game theme. A first time ever this happened. It speeds up, it's that flow. It's just wonderful. I mean, this is one of my all-time favourite 64 games anyway, so much atmosphere. But it's the music that creates that atmosphere. Not just the giant spiders. And of course when you complete each level you get that victory theme. Don't worry, we're going to stay for the victory theme. One more. No, one more. No, one more. Just so cohesive. Oh no, not the bees. Quick, get it off. I hate the bees. And top of the pops this week, the one and only Rob Hubbard. Now, is it just me who was really shocked when I found out Rob Hubbard wasn't American? Yes, Crazy Comets, the funkiest soundtrack on the Commodore 64. Remixed in Mega Apocalypse. Here's a bit of the remix.
Mega Apocalypse. Oh, Mega. Thanks for the feature, mate. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys have got that connection with computer music like I have. And so it was just nice to cover it. I had no idea. Wow, didn't it take a hell of a lot of editing? More editing than I've ever edited in my whole life. But let's move on because... oh, hang on. What do you mean? Yeah, hang on. What do you mean? Aren't you going to say... No, I'm not going to say it yet. Look at this guy struggling to have a conversation with himself. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird? And you're tuning into this. You've got better things to do. It's the weekend. You must have better things to do than watch some old git rambling on and not making any sense and zigzagging his hands and talking rubbish. But anyway, if you haven't, good for you. Welcome to the show. Like and subscribe. That's what they said. Like and subscribe. Before we get into regulars, that's for regulars. Before we get to let's have something new. Let's have an advert break.
Thought Blossom, the brand new album from Lost Songwriter.
I'm just a sad boy.
12 new tracks including Sun Shines Through,
Why, when I look in your eyes, does it feel like the sun shines through?
Nobody Dances, and the song stolen by Retrogames, Drone.
I think I might be a drone that's being remotely controlled. That's why my pulse is so slow.
Thought Blossom by Lost Songwriter. Available to stream from November the 1st.
Sell your stuff to retro games. Please don't throw your games away. Just send a list of stuff to retro games and find out what we'll pay. Sell your stuff to retro games. We try to make it hassle free. We pay the courier to fetch your games, and then we pay you straight away. What do you buy? Well, we buy most things if they are game related things, like maybe a console or a computer, but mainly it's games like these.
We buy software and hardware for all console and computer formats, including Atari, Commodore, Nintendo, Sega, Sinclair Spectrum, PlayStation, Xbox, Neo Geo, and Amstrad. Nothing is too old or too obscure for us. Discs, cartridges, cassettes, boxed or unboxed, Japanese and USA import games, gaming magazines and books, posters, soundtracks and memorabilia, electronic tabletop and handheld games, battery-operated toys, and even vintage calculators. What we love most is big games collections. The bigger the better. We even buy faulty or damaged items. Nothing is ever thrown away. If we can't use or repair it, we pass it on, and support several gaming charities.
Sell your stuff to retro games. Please don't throw your games away. Just send a list of stuff to retro games and find out what we'll pay. Sell your stuff to retro games. We try to make it hassle free. We pay the courier to fetch your games, and then we pay you straight away.
Turning your games into cash is easy. Just go to retrogames.co.uk and click the Sell Your Games button.
Yeah, an advert break. Yeah. Why not? A few adverts, eh? Come on. Stop with YouTube just filling up my show with other people's adverts. Have my own adverts. Fine. Okay, you know what time it is. I let you down last week, but this week I'm back with a proper show. And that is... What's new at Retrogames this week? Yeah! Oh yeah! Any excuse to get dancing, you know. It doesn't matter, I've got a cold, but I can still dance, yeah? I can boogie with the best of them. Okay, let's go. What we're going to start with this week, it's been a great week for listings, loads of really rare things. But I'm going to try and whiz through it because the feature was so long this week. I don't want this show to go over. At least, let's keep it an hour. Come on, let's keep it an hour. Try for an hour. Let's start with Super Famicom. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we had a big batch of Super Famicom. We got some more, and look at this game. You know this game. It is Axelay. Axe with lay on the end. Not a separate word. Axelay. I like that when a game invents a new word. An Axelay. It's just one of them. And it's quite a nice flowing Axelay. You know, maybe in 5-10 years time, this will be a really popular name for your newborn. Yeah? Axelay Harris. It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Axelay Harris. 1992, classic blast them up. Let's just get it out, show you what it looks like. Of course, all these Super Famicom, just like the last lot we listed, in amazing new condition. Look at, I mean, oh, come on. Look at that manual. It is incredible. Look at it, it's brand new. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, Axel A there. Hopefully, if I've been bothered to edit more, if I can face it, you can actually see it running now. Classic, I mean, legendary game for SNES, or, because it came out on the SNES, you can get a UK version of Axel A. Let's carry on. What about this one? Rock and Roll Racing. Rock and Roll Racing. Now I love the soundtrack to this because it had what was it? Not AC/DC. Black Sabbath. Who's that other one? The Born to Be Wild guys. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. I used to know music so well. Let's do it on the camera. There we go. Rock and Roll Race. Absolutely pristine, like brand new again. Amazing. It's like an isometric racing game, quite different to any other racing game really. And it was very popular. Came out on the SNES as well. Look at the, I mean the contents on this, they are incredible, absolutely unused, I would say. Unused. It's got the this is called the reg card. I mean, more PC Engine thing, they talk about the reg cards, it's more of a thing, but reg card special, and the warning, it's just a picture of a plug, just put that there, a picture of how to plug it in. Well, you don't plug a game in, I mean this is more relevant to the console than the game, but they still put that in there. And this has got something extra, it's got a little Namco card here, like I can't read all that out to you. Not that I can't read Japanese, but it's just a bit boring. But anyway, incredible. I don't think this has ever been used. I need to get this back in its sealed plastic as quickly as I can. Yeah, I'm just still trying to think that song. Born to Be Wild. It's there on the top of my brain. Right, carry on. This is called. This got a reader. I'm going to read the person. This is Great Battle 4, but I think there's even 6 of these games in the series. Definitely 5. Great Battle. I think they feature Ultraman, big star of Japanese anime. He was back in the 80s. Let's see if hopefully I've definitely got some of this running so you can see what it's like. Again, a mega condition. We're starting hot with some beautiful games today. Let's have a look. Oh, no manual on this one. No manual. Oh, that is a shame. I wouldn't have picked it if I'd known. I'm not talking about bogies. I wouldn't have picked that if I'd known. Right, Great Battle 4. I think we've also got 3 too. Might have 5 in stock as well. We've got lots of great battles. Here's a classic shooter. This is Darius. Darius Twin? Yes, Darius Twin. A brilliant R-Type-a-thon. R-Type rip-off, that kind of style, side-scroller. Let's put it on the camera, let's have a look. A beautiful box again. Highly rated, highly rated. Is it Hudson title? No, Tato. It's a Tato. I'm guessing this was in the coin-op. I can't remember playing this in the coin-op, but I'm sure it probably was, because most of these games they did end up in the coin-ops. And Darius, I think Darius is on a lot of formats, even PlayStation, Saturn, but this going back to the original one. Is the Darius on the original Famicom? Possibly just Darius and Darius 2 is on the original Famicom, which would be the NES. I'm not sure they came out for NES in the UK, but they might come out for the NES in the USA. Don't forget to breathe, Jace. Let's move. I haven't coughed yet. I thought I'd be coughing more. Thought I'd be heading for me coughing. No, I'm not ready for that. Maybe I am. No, I'm okay. Here's another one. We can carry on with the Super Famicom SFC, and that is incredible game. Turtles in Time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but like, I'm gonna need to take it out there. Take it out of his protective pouch. No, not pouch. Case. Let's just call it a case. Protective case. Again, incredible condition. Just absolutely amazing to see games. And I've said this before, Japanese people looked after their stuff. The equivalent SNES games are never in this kind of incredible condition. I mean, look at this. It's, what? Nothing to see here. It's just the cartridge. I just dropped the cartridge. It's on a soft felt table. It's not damaged. I can't. I'm all fingers and thumbs, aren't I? I got a cold. Get over it. Yeah, Turtles in time. Any more Super Fammies? No, we have got to the end of the Super Famicom now. What else have we got next? Something different. We've got some PSPs. PSP, yeah, Sony PSP. I know you got it. I chose this game because it's one of the few Popolaqua. I don't know. I've never heard anyone say it aloud. But to me, that CROIS looks French, so I'm thinking qua. But Popolaqua. Anyway, it's a really good anime-style role-playing game. Really good graphics, and there's not really that many games to get your teeth really sunk into on the Sony PSP. But the ones that are more involved and more take a long time to finish are definitely the ones that are jumping up in value. I don't know if there's a relationship between how long it takes to finish a game to how much it's worth. But when it comes to role players' adventures, it does seem to correlate. And there's another one here. I've got this in a bag because this has been kept very nice. This is Trails in the Sky, another role-playing game for PSP, and as you can see, it's the special edition, and it is sealed. It is sealed. It's never gonna be played. It's never gonna be played. It is a sealed game. And you know, it breaks your heart, but at the same time it's incredibly rare, so what can you do? I'd like to play it, but I'm not breaking the seal, and I guess whoever buys it will not break the seal. Remember, all this stuff is available at the www.retrogames.co.uk. Yeah, all new this week, and when I say this week, I'm saying Friday. Most of the stuff I picked today has been held for listing until Friday, so fresh. This is super hot and fresh, like me. Ah, dear. What about this? Something different. This is a CDI game. Yes, Philips CDI, and it's because it is Zelda. There is three. There are three Zelda games that came out for the Philips CDI. Who brokered that deal? I can't imagine, you know, maybe if Sony could broker a deal with Nintendo to make 3 Zelda games for PS5, that would be pretty amazing. But yeah, there are 3. There's a Mario game as well, Mario on the CDI as well. But Wand of Gamelon, that's what I call it. It must be Gamelon. They're more interactive, adventure-y, point and clicky than a proper traditional Zelda game, but they are proper Zelda. They are in the gamut. They are in the list. So they're very important for Nintendo collectors, and they fetch high value because of that. The first one is just called Legend of Zelda, I think it was. Yeah, that's the really rare one, and that's sometimes can be a £400 or £500 game in nice condition. On the CDI, yes, on the CDI. If you don't know what the CDI is, it's Philips' attempt at getting in on gaming. They had the video pack, sure, but they stole that from Odyssey, it doesn't really count. But the CDI, interactive CD player, where, yeah, a lot of the stuff on CDI is infotainment. That's not a word that anybody likes anymore or respects, is it? Infotainment. Yeah, some pictures and little videos with some talking over the top. And you can select which pictures to go to next. That's as interactive as they get. Funny enough, calling yourself a CDI, CD interactive, and it's actually really not very interactive compared to normal consoles. It's just one of those quirks of the gaming industry. Let's move on. Let me check my cameras. You don't really want to know about me having to deal with the cameras, do you? That is not what the show's about. What the show is about is great video games. And let's carry on. What have we got next? Well, let's go for PlayStation. And we had another bunch of USA PlayStation games, but they are all Final Fantasy related. We've got Final Fantasy Chronicles. This game includes Chrono Trigger, which is the most highly regarded role-playing game of all time. I'm just putting it out there. Not necessarily by me, but by collectors. Everybody wants to play Chrono Trigger. And Final Fantasy IV on this compilation. Amazing. And the next one, we've got Final Fantasy Anthology. That's the anthology. I think this is Final Fantasy 5 and 6. So you see what I'm doing here? It's all in order, isn't it? So we've got 4, then we got 5, then we got 6. Have we got 7? No, I didn't bring 7. But then we've got Final Fantasy 8. You can count. The Roman numerals is 5111. I wonder if anyone's gone into a shop and said, oh, I really like that new Final Fantasy game 5111. Final Fantasy V111, please. Just get on with the jokes. Yeah, Final Fantasy IX. Yeah, that's 9 to you. 9, Final Fantasy 9. All for the US PlayStation. Highly desirable. Everyone loves the USA PlayStation stuff. Runs a little bit faster than our PAL version. And that's enough. That's enough, because people want to play the best version of everything that's available. It's understandable. So they go for the NTSC USA version. Fine. Moving on. That's the PlayStation. Let's go to one of my favourite. They're all favourites. How many favourites can one man have? PC Engine. Yes, PC Engine. Yeah. PC Engine. Love it. PC Engine released only in Japan. Home to some of the greatest coin-op conversions and arcade games that ever came out, and brilliant conversions of that, and one of those is Darius Plus, another Darius. So we just had Darius Twin on the Super Famicom. This is Darius Plus. Oh my god, you know what that is. We haven't seen any for a while. It's the foam. I love the foam. Oh, this one. Oh, I just wish I could pass this scent through the airwaves. I'm basically sniffing the 80s. It smells like nothing. You could go shopping to every shop in the town, buy every new thing you want, break open the seals. You will not find a smell like that. That is a smell of my youth, trapped inside PC Engine game. Beautiful. HuCard. These are HuCard games. They're ideal for the standard PC Engine or the laptop or the table or the GT Express, the handheld version. Highly rated. Brilliant shooter. What else? More PC Engine. Yes, what about this one? Atomic Robo Kid, another classic coin-op hit. Oh, and it's got the foam. It's a lighter coloured foam. You're thinking, this stuff doesn't really matter to me. What am I watching this for? Good. That's what you're meant to be thinking. Oh, different scent. It's a different scent, this one. Isn't that strange? Still, I can almost smell that this is Japanese. Because these games are Japanese. Oh, I'm not going to sneeze live. If I sneeze, I'm cutting it out. You're not going to see me sneeze today. No, I know you fetishists. You do not want to see me sneeze. Sickos. Here we go. Another classic platform with PC Engine. New Zealand Story. Classic game. Oh my god, it's got the foam again. That's 3 in a row. 3 foams in a row. Incredible. Oh! I'm not actually touching it on my nose. No, you're thinking, oh, get your face off that game. And there must have been a company manufacturing little thin slices of foam. I mean, in the UK, if a game had come out with a little slice of foam like this, they'd never still be in there. I think we'd have all sucked them. I think it's a suckable insert. It just, as a kid, if I'd got this when I was in my late teens, I'd have been sucking the life out of it. Make of that what you will. Is it an unusual game? This is Fiend Hunter. Still PC Engine, HuCard. No, this is CD. They call the CD-ROM. Oh my god. It's okay. They call the CD-ROM games for PC Engine. You did require either a machine with a built-in drive or a separate attachment. They call these Super CDs. And this is I think it's a Castlevania style Mansionathon. Oh, yeah. Moving on. And this one is it's a really valuable PC Engine game, and that is Ninja. Is it Ninja Spirit? I think it's. I'm sure this is Ninja Spirit. Very. It's got the foam. I'm not going to sniff the foams anymore. You're getting bored of it. But yeah, Ninja Spirit there. Very rare. 150 quid game for PC Engine. I'll show you that running. What a beautiful thing. All the bespoke cases, they're this strange, they're like wrap around piece of plastic, like sort of like branding that goes over the CDs. It's like a standard CD case, but a specific rear tray, and they're always stickered. But I've actually seen the same sticker on multiple games, the rear stickers, which is it's a bit weird, isn't it? It's a bit weird. But I do think they're actually manufactured like that, and there is some anomalies between PC Engine and the catalogue names. Like, you know, you've got SNES, Super Famicom and stuff. You've got the little code SHVC number, and you can find out what the game is and you can find loads of stuff on Google by just using those numbers. When it comes to PC Engine, you can put in some and you'll get multiple games with the same number. So it wasn't quite so strict on the coding. It's a little tip for you there. I'm full of little tips. Make of that what you will. No coughing on the show, I told you. You're not ready for your coughing. What about this one then? Yeah, Splatterhouse. Now everyone loves Splatter. This won't be here long. Everyone wants Splatterhouse. Splatterhouse. It's just that kind of cheesy 80s kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe in a video game. Classic Namco title. Huge title on Sega format, Mega Drive as well. Huge on the PC Engine. Splatterhouse. And it's a brilliant name for a game, isn't it? I mean, some names just perfect for games, and I think Splatterhouse. Yeah, that's great. It's great. No wonder. What other games do I like? Zombies Ate My Neighbours. That's a good name. It's a good name, isn't it? It's interesting. It tells you a lot about what's going to happen, or what already did happen, and you're not even going to have any reference to having an influence over what's happened. Shush. Okay, I think that's all the PC Engine. Let's move on. Let's move on to another format that we like to talk about. Neo Geo CD! Yes! More Neo Geo CD this week! Oh, I can't believe it. And this is super rare. They're all super rare, let's be honest. The Neo Geo CD, they're some of the rarest games in Retroland. And this is Aero Fighters 3, a brilliant top-down shooter. Oh, look, you know what this is. You know what this is. This is the spine card! I like the spine card! The spine card makes all the difference on Neo Geo stuff. Well, and Saturn stuff and Dreamcast stuff if it's Japanese. Spine cards, they just give it that extra. This is complete. It didn't get thrown away. Beautiful condition. Aero Fighters. Let's carry on. Here's a really rare one. This is Cyber Lip. Now, I was talking about great names for games. I'm not sure Cyber Lip is a great name for a game. I'll just show you that on the thingy there. It's a very beautiful artwork. They are lovely looking things. You can see the game there. You can see it running. Very, very cool game. It's a brilliant game. Cyber Lip. Yeah. I mean, what does it mean to you, Cyber Lip? Cyber makes me think robots or Cybermen, or, you know. And then a lip. Just one lip. I actually think it would be better if it was Cyber Lips. Super rare again, Art of Fighting, the first one. These are again like the last lot we had. These are English language. A lot less rare if they're Japanese. They're still rare, but Japanese ones are a lot more common than the English ones. But these are the proper English, USA and Europe. Very limited release for. Oh look, it's got the spine card. The spine card even been put in a little protective wallet there. Protective wallet for your spine card. Not something bespoke you can actually buy in the shops. But you can protect things however you like. I wanted to say it's a condom for spine cards. You know, look, I only make this show to amuse myself. If you're not enjoying it, turn it off. What about this one? Another super rare. Burning Fight. I've seen this go for £400-500 in the past. Again, a UK or USA English speaking. They're both the same, the UK European releases and the American ones. Burning Fight, of course, it's a fighting game, and that is really what the Neo Geo is famous for. I mean, whoever run SNK, they just thought fighting games. No, we made a new game. It's like a role-playing adventure. No, fighting game, because everything that comes out on the Neo Geo seems to be a fighting game. like this. Aggressors of Dark Combat. That's a great name, isn't it? Aggressors of Dark Combat. I'll show you the back there. That is a fighting game, you know, for fighters. Again, super rare, but more fighting. How much fighting? Did I find anything? Wasn't fighting? Yes, I did. What about this? Alpha Mission 2, ASO. I think it's ASO Guardian something it's called in Japanese, but the American version is called Alpha Mission 2. It's another. That's another sort of game they made. Top-down shooters. Top-down shooters. There's a lot of them. If it's not a fighting game on Neo Geo, it's a top-down shooter. That's why the racing games, the bowling, the golf, the viewpoint, they stand out because there's just they're like shining beacons in a back catalogue of fighting games. And I don't mind a fighting game. Like, you know, Street Fighter 2, I can Hadouken with the rest of them, but there's only so much I can take. I mean, they're very similar. I mean, it must have been just one giant team at SNK. One of them just making new characters all the time, just new character, and the other one just shoving them into new games. You know, I know there's probably some of you guys who are proper serious beat 'em up fans, and you're thinking, well, you're not taking this seriously, Jace. Fighting games are the best, and I absolutely respect that. I respect that, but they're not for everyone. Not for everyone all the time, are they? I mean, I like racing games. I like to mix it up a bit though. I like to have different sorts of games. Anyway, I think that's the end of the Neo Geo. Let's move on. Let's go to SNES. SNES! Super Nintendo. We did Super Famicom. What about the SNES? US SNES, more specifically. And back to Final Fantasy. This is Final Fantasy 2 for the USA SNES. Never came out, I don't think, I'm pretty sure, didn't come out for UK SNES, Final Fantasy 2. And it's in lovely, lovely condition. These games, so sought after. The early Final Fantasy games, you know, we've just seen the 4 onwards, haven't we, for the PlayStation. And here we have the, it's a bit of a scruffy manual, this is a little bit scruffy, but it's complete, it's holding together. I mean, it's only the cover, I think inside it's fine, but the cover's a bit, still got the plastic and it's got the card protector for the cartridge, and it's got the fold out map. Let's have a look. I think this is a bit worn. It does. Oh no! It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Not too bad. That is the original map. Yeah, Final Fantasy 2. I know, a sought after game. A lot of you SNES collectors will be like, oh, I want that. I want that. Especially if you're a Final Fantasy fan. And how many Final Fantasy? When do you think that series will ever stop? Do you think they'll get a bit like the Now albums? Do you think they'll eventually get to, like, say, Final Fantasy 50? They could do, couldn't they? Final Fantasy 50. Not in my lifetime, I wouldn't have thought. Generally a few years, 2 or 3 years between them. Carrying on that tip, here we have Final Fantasy 3. Final Fantasy 3, so we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we missed 7, and then we went to 8. But yeah, I know. I just like remembering numbers. Final Fantasy 3, let's get it on the camera. You can see, not bad, not bad condition, nice. Say it's definitely an 8 out of 10. I'd say 8 out of 10. Just normal light shelf wear. And let's have a look. Oh, we've got the card protector, no poly bag, but we've got the warning sheets. We've got the manual. Better manual's nice. It's quite nice. That pretty good original manual. And here we've got the fold out map for this one. Oh, and here we have a bit of an issue. It is split. It is split. Let's see if I can get that on there. Yeah. Oh, sadly that is in a split, and it's not. But that, you know, that's a natural split on the fold where it's been used. People have played the game; they've needed the map. And what I really like about that is they haven't tried to repair it, so it is untaped and unmucked about with. You can get reproduction maps anyway, and we all want to have the original map, but at the end of the day, it's got the original manual, the original cartridge, the original box. Having a backup map so that you can actually use if you want to play the game makes sense. Final Fantasy 2, let's carry on. Here's a real classic, yes, it is Secret of Mana. Mana, you know what that is? It's magic energy, you know that. Come on, call yourself an adventurer. Mana, it's like liquid magic, yeah? My wife knows all about Secret of Mana. Yes, classic game. Again, American SNES version. Nice condition. 8.5, do you think? 8.5, maybe 9. Maybe 9. It's got a nice shine and gloss to the box. And it's got all the flaps are looking good. Yes, I do like nice flaps. And then we've got the cartridge there, lovely, and we've got the manual. The manual just normal, light signs of use, but yeah, it's in good shape, no stains. We've got the warning stuff. We've got warning stuff, including this is the strategy guide book offer. That's an extra rarity you don't often see in the game. And here we've got the fold out. We've got the fold out. Let's hope it's not split. Yeah, oh, it's nice. It's nice. It's like the poster. It's the poster of Secret of Mana with the map on the back. Let's hold that up. And there's the map. There's the map. And if you haven't got this map in your collection, quickly freeze frame it now. That's right. Now consign it to memory. You're ready to play. Right, there, Secret of Mana. Brilliant. God. I am sorry that I am so subdued today because of my cold. Oh, I'm not myself, am I? I'm not putting the energy in that I normally do. My personality is subdued. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm trying my best here. Trying my best. One more SNES, and that is one of the rarest SNES games ever, and that is Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger from Squaresoft. Yes, the legend that is Chrono Trigger. And look at this one. This one is in beautiful condition. It's got real nice shine. Beautiful box. All the ends are there. Lovely. Let's open it up. It's a bit of a holy grail for SNES collectors. Chrono Trigger. It's a very nice treat to bring it to you this week. Yeah, it's got the card protector. It's got the card poly bag. It's got the manual's lovely. Look at that. Chrono Trigger, that's one of the best manuals I've seen in Chrono Trigger. Lovely. And then we've got the maps. Now, this is related to the Final Fantasy issue because these are reproduction maps. It hasn't got the original maps. These are absolutely brand new condition and exactly the same as the original, but they are replacements, whereas the rest of the game is original. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's there. It's the original manual, it's the original cartridge, it's the original box, it's the original hardware, it's the original card protector, it's the original poly bag. It's just those maps are replacement. But still, wonderful rarity for anybody's serious Nintendo collection. Let's go. What's left in the box? What's in the box? Well, there's one format that I seem to get a little bit overexcited about every single week, and that is Spectrum! Yeah! Spectrum! Okay, we've got only three. I tried not to bring so much stuff out today. 3 Spectrum games. What about this one? Rana from Steve Turner. I met him a very long time ago. Lovely guy. Top-down, roam around arcade adventure game. And as you can see, beautiful. Got the separate manual there. There's the original case, the original bobbly. Yeah, I'm not mentioning Rolf Harris again this week, but he'd love this. Yeah, Rana there on the Spectrum. Brilliant. It's like a frog game. Let's carry on. What we got now? This one is a legendary game. This is Fat Worm Blows a Sparky. Now this was a crash smash game. There was a lot of hype about it. Jarrell were riding on the wave of success from Saboteur 2, Lotus Esprit, loads of great games on the Jarrell label. This came out, was a crash smash. Everyone was desperate to get it, going to the shops, trying to buy it. We all got it, we all loaded it up, and we all thought, how the hell did this get a crash smash? It's a weird game. It uses a different technique where when you're walking around, you're the worm, you control the worm, working around a circuit board. And it's a 3D top-down. It was the first time that on the Spectrum that as you move, the perspective of the objects, you'll see it on this, see it, you can see it. You see the perspective, it moves as you move in an upwards way. Like a polygon game, a shaded polygon game. I mean, technically, yeah, fun. It's great to see new boundaries pushed in the 8-bit era, but Fat Worm wasn't a brilliant game. This is one of the... Which crash smashes do you think shouldn't have been a crash smash? That's one of them. I think. You're welcome to comment. I would be interested to know what you think is the most ridiculously highly rated game by Crash Magazine that really didn't deserve it. Now here's another game for the Spectrum which is close to my heart. And that is Samantha Fox Strip Poker. Oh yes, yes, I know. Stop getting all the sexy games that come out and putting them on the show. But Sam Fox Strip Poker, this appeals to teenage boys, okay? It was fair enough. It appealed to teenage boys. Sam Fox, pastry model, always got a threepenny bits out. And yeah, that's, bank on it, make a stripping game for the Spectrum. But the problem is the Spectrum. The graphics on a Spectrum, they're not great, are they? They're not great. Let's just show you what this looks like to play. I mean, it could be worse, to be honest. You can kind of tell it's female. It's a female. But let's just say, back in the 80s, us boys had to have a lot of imagination. I'll just show you on the thing there. Look, she's looking stunning there. So, no, just her face. No screenshots on the back. They couldn't ruin this, the potential sales, by actually showing the graphics on the back of the box. Nobody would have bought it. I think it did pretty well, again, by Martech. And I was going to say about Martech, because Martech made Crazy Comets, go back to the feature. Crazy Comets, Mega Apocalypse. And I can remember my friend saying, you've got to check out Crazy Comets. Crazy Comets has got the best music ever. You've got to check it, you've got to check it. I was going, all right, okay, I don't know that game. I don't know. Yeah, it's on Martech. And I said, what? Martech? You want me to buy a game on Martech? Martech. Famous for Eddie Kidd Jump Challenge, Brian Jack Superstar, those kind of poor multi-event sports game, Jeff Capes. And then got something amazing. Like, and let's be honest, the actual game Crazy Comets, I'm going back on about 64. Crazy Comets isn't a great game. It's a kind of cheesy 3D pseudo blaster. But the soundtrack makes it absolutely rock, and I would just play it, not even looking at the screen half the time, just feeling the rhythm of it and then enjoying waggling my joystick to it. So yeah, Samantha Fox there. Samantha Fox back there. That is the Spectrum done. Let's move on. The last format we're going to cover today is Nintendo DS. Now, we haven't covered the Nintendo DS for a while. We've had a lot of US, and there's a strange thing going on with Nintendo DS. It's worth a lot more money if it's American now. I don't understand why. We've had these this week. This is both the DS Zelda games, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Very nice. They're in absolutely immaculate condition, but worth so much more because they are the American issues. And I guess this feeds on from Super Nintendo games. Suddenly worth far more if they're American than if they're UK PAL. It's just that they're controlling the market. The Americans are controlling the retro market, and it's turning games which came out all over the world, but turning the US versions as more desirable. The same's happened on Game Boy. I don't really understand why, because a lot of the time America's a bigger market than Europe, especially like the UK issues. The UK versions are rarer. I would say UK PAL games are rarer than USA SNES, DS, PlayStation 1 games, aren't they? We've got a smaller market just by population numbers. So it is weird. But anyway, we've got lots more 3DS. Let's carry on. We've got another Secret of Mana sequel, Children of Mana, for the DS. It came out on PlayStation. I think this came out on PlayStation. Did it come out on? Did it come out on American Dreamcast? No, I don't know. You're making it up, Jace. You're making it up. Let's carry on. Here we've got a Castlevania. People love the old Castlevanias. Castlevania: Dawn of Sorrow. Just have a little look at that. Again, and these absolutely immaculate DS. I think the DS has already become... I've bigged up the 3DS, so the 3DS is the future of Nintendo collecting, where we still, well, Switches, but 3DS is gone. Boo! That's me doing a graph. Boo! Values are rising all the time, but DS has done exactly the same thing. DS is crazy too. Not quite as unique as 3DS though, because it's not 3D screen. But let's be honest, the double screen game is still pretty unique. It's still more exciting to play than, say, a Game Boy game. And Game Boy games, well, they've gone through the roof. Dragon Quest games, the American Dragon Quest releases, these have gone crazy. These are really expensive, 80 quid, 100 quid games, maybe 150 on some of the Dragon Quest games on DS. Yes, double screen, the Nintendo DS games have really gone crazy. But it's always circles around the role-playing games first. I've got another couple here. Yeah, Dragon Quest 4 there. Role-playing games kind of take the lead. Oh, this is 200 quid. £200 for Dragon Quest 5 for the DS. Isn't that bizarre that this has picked up that much value? I mean, it was strange. The Dragon Quest releases on DS, it was unexpected, revisiting old games and putting them out. It's very niche because you're only going to appeal to people who really love the series. You're not really going to appeal to any gamers who don't know this. I mean, who are just looking for a nice game to play, because if they were going to buy a Dragon Quest, they'd buy the latest one, Dragon Quest 7 that came out, rather than going backtracking and buying the old version. If you're just going to buy one to try it out, you're not going to buy the retro one. So I guess they sold very low, which is why they're so valuable now. But interesting, aren't they? Interesting. And brilliant games to play. I love the Dragon Quest series. Here's another one. This is Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. It's kind of an adventure, point and clicky, I think. Point and clicky adventure thingy. Point and clicky adventure thingy. Yeah, that's a new song. But not a new jingle. I'm not making a new jingle out of that. Rubbish, because I'll never use it again. There we have, absolutely beautiful American again. And we've got one more game in the box. And I haven't even said it, have I? Just make up for it, I'll say it now. What's in the box? What's in the box? It is, what about this? Retro Game Challenge. Now talk about, this is up my alley. Retro Game Challenge for the DS. Yeah, Retro Game Challenge for the DS. Isn't that amazing? So I thought, well, it's nice to play one thing, if I can play something. If there's something that's available to play in the show, I'll play this. So I'm going to play this now. Cosmic Games.
Good luck, man.
One more, and I'll beat the challenge. Thank you. Clear! I did it! The first go, I finished the level. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Welcome back to the show. Well, I think we've got to our conclusion. It's been a wild ride, as usual. Episode 5 in the bag. Thank you for watching. It's been fun. Let's hope I don't go quite so edit heavy next week. But until then, happy retro gaming, retro gamers!
Retrogames says thank you for watching. Retrogames says thank you for watching.
My cold can come back now. I've finished. Oh, best episode ever? I hope so. Oh, roll on next week.